What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel. On Nootropics and Biohacking, thanks so much for being with me. Hey guys, quick specials on product are the following. You're going to want to listen. The new coupon code for 30% off most of our products is 30. It actually takes 30% off like pretty much everything. That is the Cortex Nootropic stack, 30% off using the coupon code 30. I mean, it's just an everything stack, especially mental energy and motivation. Go get it, livecortex.com. For those of you that used to get the Cortex double stack, that's 2 bottles of Cortex in a package for $24 each. That is back online now at livecortex.com. So that's a better deal if you want to buy 2. Nootropics Masterclass, that's a video course that I created to teach you how to take wherever you are in nootropics to the 6-year mark. You stack differently at the 6-year mark. You get different results. You feel better. You use nootropics a lot more efficiently at that mark. We teach you how in Nootropics Masterclass. It's also 30% off using the coupon code 30. If you're brand new to nootropics, you guys know the routine. You have to start with Nootropics Ground Zero. It is the baseline start of using and getting results from nootropics. Clears up a lot of stuff, gives you stacks, everything in between. 30% off livecortex.com for people that are brand new. If you're a guy that needs tests, which we're going to talk about, you have to get the Viking Testosterone Protocol. Also 30% off. Last things, if you need either large-scale comprehensive cognitive function and energy baseline work to make you fully functional, like when you were 20 and you were killing it, we've got either the 1 month, the 3.5 month, or the 6 month biohacking nootropics consults for that. I mean, the results we get are staggering with people, both men and women. Additionally, those consults are for hardcore issues too, like PSSD, adrenal hormone issues related to PSSD, among other things, energy baseline issues, of course, dopamine burnout issues from Adderall, just like everything else in between, even post-benzo disorders. Get all that stuff at livecortex.com or email me to find what fits. All right, so we're going to talk about self-diagnosing sexual function mechanisms for men, okay? There's a process, and this really parallels. The process is parallel in every other arena, that if you feel like you have a problem in one area or another, cognitively or sexually, you have to go through a process of validating the mechanisms, and then you can treat the problem by understanding exactly the mechanism. So if you take aniracetam, like you have a super anxiety issue, and you take aniracetam and it helps, well, its anxiolytic properties are related to its glutamate modifying and regulating properties, right? So then you would understand you've got a GABA glutamate balance, and then proceed to work on that in a perhaps more aggressive way that fixes the issue instead of just band-aiding it. The same is true for sexual function for men. So I want to run through the litany of things that you should be looking at. And in some cases, I'm going to give you some tips on what to do in each situation in diagnosing sexual dysfunction for men. So number one, obviously testosterone, right? It's not the whole picture, and we're going to get into that, so stick around. But test is a critical part of the picture, and it tells you a whole lot. If you have high test, but you don't have libido, then it tells you it's serotonin and dopamine, which we'll get to, maybe some DHT issues, which we'll get to. But if it isn't any of those things, it's test, okay? It's plenty of times just having low test, where you have low sex drive, you don't wake up with morning erections, among other things, okay? I would say that what I've seen in consulting men on testosterone is that if your numbers on total T are anywhere below 500, you should optimize them, okay? And optimizing test is a matter of doing a lot of things. It's actually a lot more complex than I thought initially going into it for myself, which is why I created the Viking Testosterone Protocol. But to give you some tips, you've got to tell the enzymes in your testicles to work better. They are responsible for producing tests. There's a couple of them. You can do that with high-dose Cystaunch, okay? That is the answer for that particular issue. At the same time, you have to have your vitamin D level somewhere between 50 and 80 nanograms per deciliter. I mean, that's kind of a good range for tests. And on the higher end of that, if you can, that is useful. The only way to do that is obviously, well, get some sun, but also take vitamin D, 5 to 20 IU a day, and then repeatedly test if you can. If it's free, or if it's not that much money, go to the doc, get it tested. I am a Army vet, so I just go to the VA, get it tested kind of when I want. My doc looks at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I want to test again. Like, can we test cortisol? Like, I asked him to test all kind of wacky stuff, and he's like, okay, man. Like, he understands what I do and has seen some of my videos, so it's all good. But yeah, below 500, you got to optimize. Cystaunch is great for enzyme upregulation. Vitamin D is critical. The other pillar that I'll give you, which is critical for raising test, is you've got to tell the Leydig cells in the testicles to work better, and you can do that with infrared red light therapy. Okay, so that's test. You have to work on test, and the only way to know that and validating the mechanism is to actually get your testosterone tested. However, validating the idea that it is not test would be a situation in which you actually have above 500, say 6 to 900 nanograms per deciliter. I've seen men at 1100 and still have no libido, and you have no libido, okay? So in that case, you need to put your attention to a couple different things. Number one, the serotonin dopamine balance. It is my contention, and it has been for a while, and I've seen results working on this with men, that issues with excessive serotonin, or really a lack of control of serotonin flow, which is mediated by autoreceptors at the serotonin 5-HT1A site, cause sexual dysfunction in men. We see this all the time when people coming off of SSRIs. I mean, it's just a known thing. It's called PSSD. At the same time, in PSSD or serotonin-related issues where there's an overflow, there's usually some sort of inhibition on dopamine signaling. There's usually a downregulation of dopamine receptors, and there's usually some sort of transport issue. So a couple tips for people in that situation. You've got to get your serotonin flow under control, and in that case, you would want to target the 5-HT1A autoreceptor protein. Okay, you would want to do that with, over time, 600 to 900 milligrams of St. John's wort in a hypericin-dominated concentration. As far as the dopamine side of it, I mean, look, there's a lot that can help you fix dopaminergic derangement, or sort of, I might simply call it sort of deficiency issues. Bromontane is one of them. Bromontane is an upregulator of dopa decarboxylase as well as tyrosine hydroxylase. These are dopamine synthesis enzymes. If you make them work better, you're going to synthesize dopamine a heck of a lot better. That's one of the really, really cool things about bromontane. On the other end, yes, you should be working on receptor function. Uridine and CDP-choline are good candidates for that, and the right dose is measured on a particular protocol where you don't take it every day and you cycle off. But at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of discussion, and there's a lot more, elucidating of results that I have with clients with 9-methylbcarboline, that's 9-MEBC, as it relates to essentially resensitizing sensitivity to dopamine in the brain. Okay, so that's where you want to look if you've got serotonin dopamine issues. The last thing that I would say to look at and to validate what's causing your sexual dysfunction is 5-alpha reductase. Okay, 5-alpha reductase is for our intents and purposes in this discussion related to the conversion of testosterone to DHT. Most of the downstream positive effects of test are after the conversion to DHT. Okay, critical takeaway. Most of the benefits from test are after it gets converted to DHT. And 5-alpha reductase is a critical element in that conversion process. There's a lot of men that I know that have taken things like finasteride, which is Propecia, and because it's a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, they effectively have PSSD. They've got sexual symptoms, lack of libido, ED, things of this nature. And once you start to work on the 5-alpha reductase function and the test to DHT function, it alleviates and gets better over time. It takes some time. There's other things related to it, but it ends up working better. Another thing to keep in mind for guys is that there are other compounds that are 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, and the most prominent one that I've seen cause sexual dysfunction in men, and this is antithetical to I think what most people think, is saw palmetto. So I've actually had guys go on high-dose saw palmetto for a long time and lose a degree of their sexual function, and then again fix that by taking things that make 5-alpha reductase work a lot better. One of them is a particular blend of tribulus, and that is a high concentration, at least 40% of protodiazine inside of the tribulus supplement. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of it. I'll leave you with one last thing based on what I am seeing with clients and what I've seen with clients with sexual dysfunction from PSSD and SSRIs and Propecia and a bunch of other things, is that dopamine fasts are not effective with people with severe issues, okay? And I would wager that people that do get some sort of alleviation from dopamine fasts, like no FAP and just trying to stay away from things that might be dopaminergic in life, I would wager that their issues were not that severe to begin with. In fact, I've seen it. It just does not seem to work with people that are having hardcore dopaminergic issues that are affecting their sex drive really, really negatively. Okay, something that I saw. So I hope that makes sense. You've got to start with test. Okay, the only way to validate that is to test it. You've got to take Sustaunch, maybe get some LLLT in there, get your vitamin D up, even bring in some saponins that upregulate or make you make more test. You can do that with a chemical called fenugreek. And there's a lot of other things that you can do to raise test. Keep watching videos. Go watch some of our other videos, or get on the Viking Testosterone protocol to kind of get the complete strategy to do that. If you've got a high test but still low libido, you've got a serotonin dopamine issue. Again, 5-HT1A autoreceptor on the serotonin site. You've got to work on upregulating that, simultaneously upregulating the entire dopaminergic system to the best of your ability. Bromontane is a great candidate for that, among other things. If you have taken finasteride or any 5-alpha reductase inhibitor in the past, and you've actually got documented low DHT, or somehow you feel like there's a wacky deranged conversion from test to DHT, you have got to work on that. That will reverse the issues if that's the main problem. One of the ways you can do that is, again, with a 40% standardized protodiazine version of Tribulus. And of course, you've got to look at some of the things that are in your supplement regimen that might be 5-alpha reductase inhibitors. Because if you're taking stuff that's doing that, just removing those compounds should get you somewhat back to normal thereafter. All right, I hope that makes sense. Please run through this video again if you need to understand the process. But I want to tell you, again, this parallels the strategy with every other neurotransmitter-based problem. You've got to do things to validate what exactly is wrong. And then you've got to treat what you find through your validation. In some cases, the treatment is what you use. The treatment will be what you used to validate the issue. And in some cases, it'll be something completely different. You know, a good example of that is like you might use a lemon balm to validate that you have a GABA issue. Lemon balm gives you some more GABA via inhibiting GABA T, but then thereafter you'd want to look at some large-scale neurogenesis work, among other things, to fix GABA A receptors and even GABA B function. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being with me. Guys, remember, Cortex Stack, 30% off, coupon code 30. Cortex Double Stack, $24 a bottle. You get 2 bottles in that package, livecortex.com. Nootropics Masterclass. I mean, one of the most powerful courses on taking your experience, usage, and benefits and results with nootropics to the 6-year mark. That's why we call it Masterclass. It's defined as the master class. People just do things differently at that level. We teach you how in Nootropics Masterclass. It is a video course of me, and it is awesome. Coupon code 30% off right now. Guys, you need to raise tests. There's no better way to do it than the Viking Testosterone Protocol. Please get on board. It is so fun to work with guys and have them raise test, and have guys go like that were seemingly skeptical coming in like, holy crap, Ryan, it worked. It's super awesome. 30% off livecortex.com right now. Again, if you're new to Nootropics Ground Zero is the answer. Teaches you how to go to the 3-year mark from brand new. I mean, there's so many concepts you're going to clear up. A lot of good stacks showing you the framework of getting results, stacking, using the best nootropics that we all usually discuss. It's awesome. Also a video course with me, and it's rad. 30% off livecortex.com. And then again, last couple things. If you need my help on large-scale cognitive function, energy baseline work, the 1 month, the 3.5 month intensive, or the 6 month intensive, all hyper acute communicative biohacking consults, very, very hands-on on me, very results-driven. I will bother you with status updates, and I will pretty much blunt force your issue into resolution. LiveCortex.com, go get any one of those consults. Email me, Ryan at LiveCortex.com, if you want to find which one is better for you. They also apply to PSSD, anxiety issues from benzodiazepines, among other things like Adderall use and the post-state that you end up in. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Talk to you next time.